Hello, my name is Yaron Spiewak. I'll be your music director for and performer for this morning. And now that Thanksgiving just happened, very thankful for everybody. It's time to do a little bit of wonderful time of the year songs. It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kid jingle belling and everyone telling to be a good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest seasons of all, with those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings and friends come to call. It's the happiest seasons of all. There'll be parties for hostings, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling down in the snow. There'll be crazy ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long time ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And yee-haw is how I feel like we should end that song. It's the most wonderful time of year. Yee-haw.
Yes, it's like a very easy way without even saying the word Christmas.
Well, as we said in soundcheck earlier, Christmas and Hanukkah, right?
Yes, and Kwanzaa and
Well,
everything else.
I think the way that we should frame, if you will, that song is that it's a gateway, much like the Golden Gate Bridge over your shoulder, right? It's a gate, a gateway from. It's interesting. Wendy Wares texted me yesterday and said that. Let me pull up what she actually shared with me. It was a quote from before that said it was a quote she had written down in um, a talk I had given in June of 2016 that said to honor the space between no longer and not yet. And so that's what we're doing. We're the long that it's no longer leading up to the holidays and they're not yet here.
Exactly.
So, your own good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you.
It's good to see you and happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Well, I'm excited for our service that we're sharing today, and I know that you're joining us from the land of Los Angeles, as am I. And so, even though your screen gives the illusion that you're elsewhere, but that's where you are. So, glad you're like Peter Pan and Mary Poppins all at the same time. So, and the Flying Nun. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, good to see you. I'll see you in just a bit.
Sounds good.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and welcome to our Sunday celebration service. It is the 30th of November in the year 2025, and it's my great honor to be with you today, and it's my great honor for you to be with us today, whether you're joining us live via Zoom and or YouTube, or at a later date watching our service from afar, if you will. I welcome you, and I honor you, and I affirm for you, as I do for me, that just where you are, the divine energy is, and all of its magnificence and its perfection and its completeness and its wholeness. And as we close out this season of gratitude, know that I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for the thing itself, and I'm grateful for the way life presents itself and our opportunity as beings of life to respond to that as mental beings of life. And so today, let's have a wonderful service of supporting each other, finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And so I shall put on our screen right now our opening slides for today. And so we are a community known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. Our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And I affirm for you that as we all say hello to each other, that is indeed what happens, is that we open up to a spiritual awakening. We're going to hear more about that today as we're going to have a unique way of inspiration for my message today. And there will be definitely moments of looking at spiritual awakenings in a different way. If you look at the image on the screen where the individual who is clad in psychedelic colors is allowing his third eye to come alive, to tune in to that energy that is the divine. Here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, as members of a community, and I say that as we as a collective, through an organization called the Centers for Spiritual Living, for many, many years have practiced the teachings of the Ernest Holmes called the Science of Mind. And its, foundational fundamental element, it's the philosophy, faith, and way of life encompasses that there's only really one thing ever taking place. That's life itself. That we're all one with this cosmic energy that is the creative force of life, that we both experience it and express it through our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions and our reactions in life. And that we live in a universe governed by spiritual law. And so that which we know ourselves to be is magnified and magnetized and returns to us when we're conscious of it. It returns to us whether we're conscious or not, but it's more important to be conscious of it. And so as the leader of our community, if you will, it's my pleasure to honor you today and say namaste. I invite you to move into an act of namaste for yourself and to honor each other. Namaste's, at its most literal Sanskrit meaning, is the divine in me honors and acknowledges the divine in you. It actually means I bow to thee, its literal meaning. But in its modern incarnation, it is I bow to thee. If you've taken a yoga class or known anything about Yogananda or lived in the Western world today, namaste is a fairly common term, which is saying hello. It's a greeting in its most spiritual context, as you see the various different ways of that taking place on the screen. I invite you, no matter where you are right now, to take in a deep breath. But if it's safe for you, and exhale, put your hands together and just feel your hands in prayer position on your heart. Looking at the animated heart in the center of the screen. Feel yours as it fills up and grows as we inhale together. 1, 2, 3. And bending forward and exhaling together, say namaste. And just feel the shift that takes place as that happens. We're all about the shift here as a philosophy, faith, and way of life as a community, meaning that we're about changing our perspectives continually in life for the purpose of inviting in spiritual awakenings. As a community, my favorite Ernest Holmes quote is, "Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you." We honor that you and the individualized expression of the divine that you are. As a community that's come together for 35 plus years now, we affirm out loud, we welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities, that we stand with you and want you to know that just as you are safe here in this community. And so we affirm together that which is popped on the screen. We welcome one and we welcome all. So know that you're welcome here. As I said earlier, we teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. One of the things that drew me to the science of mind is that what we teach is that the power of the divine, whether you call it God or Beulah or love or Yahweh or whatever it may be, is an impersonal energy, creative energy that is the source of all life. And that, as I said earlier, we individualize that energy through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and interactions in life. And as we individualize that, it responds to us by providing to us a corresponding effect. That's because we live in a universe governed by spiritual law. And so our purpose and intent here is to support each other on our vision statement and to support ourselves on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Today, it's my intention and my objective to usher in for each of us a spiritual awakening of seeing life renewed and anew. We do that by moving into our morning ritual called calling in the light. So I invite you to look at the flickering flame on the screen and the heart and the animated hearts within it. Tuning back into having seen a beating heart earlier in the slides of Namaste and felt it in ourselves, and then began to imagine it beating and others feeling it for themselves. That's that connectedness and that continuity of life that we speak of here in our community. So we hear these words, we light this candle as if it's a virtual candle for various different faiths, just what we call lighting the flames of faith. We do so for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium known as the natural way. And we light it for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. And for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. And for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. And for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. And all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. And all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and of peace. And for all forms of New Thought, that's what we practice here, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We pull all those together and declare this candle that we had on the screen earlier as the healing candle. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind, defines healing, which we'll also hear more about later in the service, as revealing the wholeness and the oneness of life itself. And so I'd like to invite you to take a moment and think of someone, including yourself, which you'd like to put into that light, energetically and metaphorically, of the healing flame, so that all may experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine. My call for us today is, as the beautiful little poppy shows on the screen, acknowledging that we are one family, these words. Today, let's choose to use your voice for kindness, your ears for compassion, your hands for charity, your mind for truth, and your heart for love. To complete this ritual, we're going to sing the song Calling in the Light. It's a call and response song. Yaron will take us through it. And your portion of the song to sing along, unless you want to sing it all and you know it, is on the screen.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. am love. I am peace in my heart. I am free. I am spirit. I am soul. All together we are whole and golden in the light. Golden in the light. Golden in the light of love. Golden in the light. Golden in the light. Golden in the light of love. Golden in the light of love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is.
Yes.
It's it would be interesting if that song had been recorded by someone and it was out and about. And I say that because I talk about all the time about the synchronicity of life and tuning in to hearing the divine. And we're going to hear more about that today in this message that we're going to see. But I was at the manicurist 2 days ago. Manicurist, pedicurist, of course. And I've got my earbuds in and I'm going through the videos that we're going to see in a moment, sending them off to Travis. And I was hearing it talk about, the interconnectedness of life. And I kept hearing, like, I keep hearing music that I know. Am I just hearing that, or is it actually what I think I'm hearing? And it was a version of Let There Be Peace on Earth coming through the speakers, right? And so I was like, of course, there we go. That's it. That's the sign from the divine, right? Yep. And then it went right into Amazing Grace, as we know, which is one of my other favorite songs on earth. And I was like, let's see if there's a calling in the light that's going to come through. But it didn't. So you just never know, right? You just never know. So I know you're in town for a little bit, and then you're headed back to Provincetown for a holiday special, right?
Yes, there's a couple of Christmas shows. I'm excited to do their holiday shows.
How exciting. As we talked about when I saw you last, it has to be so wonderful to be there at that time of year, albeit quite cold and potentially snowy. Will this be your first time there at Christmas?
I think it'll be my third. But it's
Oh,
like
wow.
you get the best of both coasts. That's what I always say. Like live at the East
And is
Coast.
there a lot of people there?
Yeah, there's like the big show is like in Town Hall. We already sold 500 tickets out of 700. So
Oh, that's great.
you guys,
That's fantastic. Cool. So what song do you have for us now?
one of my favorites, musical theater / Christmas / one of my favorite things.
Oh, good. Well, take it away.
All right. Feel free to join along. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up in strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses and blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bite, when the bees sing, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember dresses and blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee sings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so, and then I don't feel so bad.
So fabulous.
Thank you.
Fabulous. It definitely gets us into the mood. And also there's a metaphysical meaning to that when I choose, right, when I'm making a choice to look at my favorite things and I don't feel sad.
Yeah, no, I like you manifesting. I was also sometimes, if I do that when I wake up with a nightmare, God forbid, I just start thinking of like my favorite things to get me out of
I
that
love
dream,
it.
and then I start dreaming of unicorns and cotton candy.
So, alrighty. So, how very wicked of you, but not of the Ariana Grande character. Yes, but what made me think of that in particular was there's a great book I would encourage you to read if you're having nightmares, and this will flip that so it becomes the opposite of nightmares, and it's called Dream Yourself Awake. And
Ooh,
it's about programming your subconscious mind to do its work in a unicorn and cotton candy kind of way while you're dreaming.
I will write that down right after
I've
we.
I've used it many times, and I use it in counseling. The premise of that work. So
No,
so
that's
much
good.
like the slide that we had a while ago with the beating heart and the different people in the namaste, and then you move into the candle with the beating heart. It's um, imagining what you want to dream about, the energy by which you want to take yourself into slumber with, and then creating an aura of energy in the room, and then inviting all of that into your heart and your mind, and then send your subconscious to work while you snooze and snore.
I will definitely use that. I don't have many nightmares, but then when they come, they come.
Yeah. Well, it's believed oftentimes that that is your subconscious mind clearing out its toxic energy.
Well, that's a good thing.
So, alrighty,
All right, see you soon.
process that for 20 minutes. No.
Thank you.
All right, see you in a bit. So, I'm really excited to share our message this morning to you, for you, with you, if you will. The theme for the month is gratitude is happening through me. And I've spoken many times about the through me component. And this is really what we're going to look at today is being that vessel, that medium, if you will, by which life does its thing. I have pulled together 5 different, very short videos that Travis has put together for us, and we'll go through them one at a time. That has a really specific meaning and message for us. And so today's going to be really different than what we've done before, other than we've done similar types of things with Abraham Hicks videos. But my intention today is for us to hear the foundational components of our teaching, our philosophy, faith, and way of life from a different set of ears, if you will, and through different voices, and to hear language that's different but similar, and to let it spark within us a broader sense and understanding of our interconnectedness, of the force of life itself, and of a visual medium that will hopefully, not hopefully, I'm going to affirm for you that will give you a different perspective. You know, one of the foundational components of the way I like to teach this teaching is to consistently and constantly be seeing things through a different lens, to see a new perspective, to see life differently. And that's for the purpose of awakening, if you will, and evolving into a higher vibrational consciousness using the map of consciousness as a touchstone of an understanding of what I mean by that. And so I invite you to sit back and open your mind, invite in for yourself the journey, and open up to that happening. And Travis is going to run the first one, which is less than a minute, and then I'm going to come back on. Travis, are you ready?
Every conscious being exists within a personal reality bubble or perceptual field, defined and sustained by their unique frequency signature, beliefs, emotions, karma. This bubble acts as a semi-permeable membrane, only allowing experiences and information that are a vibrational match to enter your awareness. You cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of. This explains why two people can have vastly different experiences of the same event. The work of ascension is the conscious purification and upgrading of this personal frequency, which in turn transforms your reality bubble, allowing you to perceive and inhabit a higher dimensional world without ever physically going anywhere.
When we were doing a run through of these earlier this morning, Travis was laughing about, I'm not going anywhere. And I love that concept because what it reminds us to remember is the journey that we're on of the ascension that this individual speaks of is an internal journey. The frequency bubble, if you've seen The Second Wicked, you will think of the Ariana Grande character who travels by pink bubble. But I love that because what we're being told in this video, it's reinforcing that we are all have spirit, that energy of life has indeed placed its stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you, and that we're moving through life. When I say moving through life, that as an image on this journey, it's imagery and language that we can understand on our journey of life. And as we're moving through that in a bubble, our own individual bubble, appearing to be separate from the rest of the world, it's just our own experience of the world that makes it unique, and that we're living life as a result of our beliefs, our emotions, and our karma. What he means by the karma is instantaneous. It's that it's giving us new language to the law of life responds by corresponding and provide us experiences that we can relate to, i.e. what I just shared with you about. I'm going to share more with you about hearing two of my favorite songs play while I was at the manicure pedicure salon the other day, which would have played whether I was tuned into them or not, but by changing my frequency, were they being played for me? On some levels, yes, but it wasn't the only radio frequency that was taking place during that time that I was experiencing it. What does that mean? It means that for you and I to consistently and purposefully work about our vibrational matches, understanding that they're always happening, and then shift our awareness to our divine nature in a manner so that we experience that, and we're experiencing it because of what we're consciously choosing to be. In other words, to be conscious, to be awake, alert, alive, to be, as Abraham Hicks says, tuned in, turned in, and tapped on. Now think about, as this individual instructed us, every single one of us, because of the spiritual truths that were just addressed, was that we each are having a different experience of life right now. And we're having a different experience of this exchange right now. And we're having a different experience of the information that's being shared right now. And I'm even having, as is Travis, a different experience of the content of this video, even though we've seen them several times. I've probably seen them all now 6 or 7 times. What does that mean? It means that the point of interest for all of us to think about is not only are we having a different experience of life and how we're contributing to that, but so are all of the other stamps of individuality in life, and what are we bringing to their experience to the best of our ability, and is that contributing to our ascension? In other words, our moving into a higher consciousness. And so I invite us all to open ourselves up to looking at it through the lens of an intentional and purposeful evolving consciousness and experiencing life anew through no longer what was and not overly anticipating what is to be, but in the moment. So we're going to watch this video again through that lens and see how you experience it. Travis, take it away.
Every conscious being exists within a personal reality bubble or perceptual field, defined and sustained by their unique frequency signature, beliefs, emotions, karma. This bubble acts as a semi-permeable membrane, only allowing experiences and information that are a vibrational match to enter your awareness. You cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of. This explains why two people can have vastly different experiences of the same event. The work of ascension is the conscious purification and upgrading of this personal frequency, which in turn transforms your reality bubble, allowing you to perceive and inhabit a higher dimensional world without ever physically going anywhere.
So how do we upgrade that field? How do we upgrade that perception? We do that by being open to understanding how it works and what is the world in which we live. What world are we inhabiting? And I'm speaking of, yes, the physical world, but I'm more importantly speaking of the mental world. And how willing are we, the key is how willing are we to play in the realm, experimentally, if you will, in regards to being more and learning more. So the purified field of awareness is existing on multiple planes that we're going to be told about in the second video. Let's go, Travis. Let's have that one. I know he's going to have it ready. He's going to hit play.
Ancient knowledge describes two levels of reality. The first is the phenomenal reality, the world we experience every day. It has rules, it feels real, and we operate within it. This is like the reflection of the moon on water. The reflection is there, you can see it, but it's not the moon itself. The second is the absolute reality, the ultimate unchanging truth. This is the moon in the sky. Spiritual seeking is the journey of shifting our focus from the reflection to the source, from the temporary appearance to the eternal truth.
So incredibly powerful. Just so incredibly powerful. Let's just take a moment and think of what they're speaking of in regards to the phenomenal reality that we're experiencing, a reflection of the energy of life itself. What we're experiencing right now, as I'm seeing myself on the screen, you're seeing me on the screen, we're seeing my fingers move, and I am appearing to be that which is tangible, while not seeing the semi-permeable bubble that's around me. It's still not even real, right? In the context of what he's talking about, because it's experiential. By the time we're experiencing it, it has already taken place, if you will, and the creative process is continuing to unfold through it. It's important for us to have that perspective as we navigate the physical element of life itself. Why? Because we live in a physical world. It would be dumb of us to not constantly and consistently be reframing our understanding of the way the physical world is, while at the same time we can change that physical world, meaning through manifestation, if you will, or humanifestation. And at the same time, I'm using that in quotation marks so that we can understand it's not really time, but it's a man-made concept. It's both about being one with the creative nature of it, while at the same time perceiving it in an experiential form. In other words, this is that multidimensional element of life. And while at the same time, we're dealing with that which is the absolute. I love how he says spiritual seeking is the journey of shifting our focus from phenomenal to source. That's really what I talk about in our vision statement, being on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, is experiencing it, processing it, understanding it, reclaiming it, redefining it, sending it back out. So it's all of that is transpiring while all being rooted in oneness. The significance of this for you from me today, what my objective is for us to begin to not only see things through a different lens, but to tune into that truth that, as our themes have said throughout the months, gratitude is happening through me, joy is happening through me, December will be light is happening through me, is to consciously remember that we are the filter by which the creative force is happening, and that that's not punitive, although it may feel like that at times. But just as Yaron and I were chatting about, it's about changing one's perspective and then opening up immediately when you change your perspective to see how that reflection from the phenomenal reality can show up. So what does all of this mean? How does all of this hold true for us, and where did it all come from, right? That's the question. So we're going to, video number 3 is going to talk to us about this, but what I really want you to not get attached to in video 3 is he's going to talk about a conspiracy. Don't buy into the conspiracy. Hear all the way through to the end to understand what the purpose and the intent behind those words are. It's really about broadening an understanding. Okay. Video 3.
In the center of your brain lies a key, a shimmering gland no larger than a grain of rice. But within it, galaxies turn, ancient memories stir, and dimensions collide. They call it the pineal gland, but mystics have always known it as the seat of the soul. This tiny radiant organ is unlike any other in the body. It contains photoreceptors like your eyes. It's wrapped in crystalline structure, calcite microcrystals that exhibit piezoelectricity, meaning they respond to pressure, vibration, and frequency. Some researchers believe it also contains tiny hair-like antennae, allowing it to receive signals not just from this world, but perhaps from beyond it. The ancients knew this. The Egyptians carved it into the eye of Horus. The Hindus called it the Ajna chakra. The Buddhists say the Buddha's awakening came as a flash of light through the third eye under the Bodhi tree. Even in the Vatican, the pineal symbol is enshrined in a 13-foot-tall pine cone statue called the Cortile della Pina, hidden in plain sight. You see it in sacred art everywhere, the glowing third eye, the halo, the ray of inner light, all pointing to the divine antenna within. But here's where the great conspiracy begins. They've known this truth for millennia, and they've worked tirelessly to shut it down. Fluoride in the water, toxins in the food, blue light weaponry, media hypnosis, religious trauma, shame and suppression, all designed to calcify the pineal, to sever the signal between you and source. Why? Because a fully activated pineal gland makes you unprogrammable. It wakes up your dormant DNA. It lets you see through the illusion, through the matrix. It's not a metaphor, it's a mechanism. And once you activate it through breath, fasting, intention, frequency, sound, stillness, and sunlight, the veil begins to lift. You remember who you are, a soul, a being of light, a fractal of God source, here to awaken, here to liberate, here to transmit heaven into form.
So you'll see that the ending of this, I want to address the conspiracy piece. When he says they, let's not buy into that, other than what I do on some level. My relating to that is in regards to if one takes in toxic food, or one takes in toxic energy, or one takes in the news or social media, or fill in the blanks, that energetically that is not in alignment with our divine nature. And so it is a toxin, if you will, that we're ingesting that is shutting down the pureness of that which is within us. But he tells us that if you choose to breathe, experience sunlight, fasting, intermittent frequency, sound, stillness, the frequency of the divine, if it's purposeful to tune into that which is a reflection of your divine energy, the highest frequency in the map of consciousness, in our philosophy, faith, and way of life, I talk about it every single time we're together, of remembering that innately we are peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. If that is our intention and our purpose, because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, it must, and we magnetize that, it must come back to us. The objective of all of this is to understand that that which is within us, as addressed here, is the the mechanics, right, to radiate our divinity, which then magnetizes through our humanity. Now, that's a lot to take in, but what I want you to garner from this third video is that already within us is the mechanisms, our pineal gland, to put out into the universe a reflection. And I'm not speaking of the physical reflection that's in the phenomenal reality. I'm speaking of that which is our own innate divine energy. As we put that out, it comes back to us. So then, to do as stated in the last statement of this, to lift your veil. Today, let's all make a decision to lift our veil. In other words, to begin to take out that which has darkened our field of awareness and open up to being illuminated in a way that we've previously been unillumined for the purpose of being different. That's the spiritual awakening. In other words, let's choose to call in the light. All right, so now we're going to go to video 4. I'm so excited.
Cells of our bodies, the neurons, the DNA, and the cell membranes literally are antenna that tune us to an energetic place in the field that underlies all existence that we now know. Science confirmed it in the year 2012 at the CERN Superconducting Super Collider. They actually announced it on July 4th in America, 4th of July 2012, that there is a field that underlies all existence. 2022, the Nobel Prize in Peace, in physics, the Nobel Prize in Physics was given to the physicists that confirmed that in this field, everything's connected. Entanglement.
Really?
Is what it's called.
What is this field that we're living in?
It's an energetic field, and we are that field. Every human, the average human, is about 50 trillion cells in the body, approximately, give or take. You've got more cells than I do because you're taller than I am.
Oh, wow.
And every one of those 50 trillion cells has about 100 trillion atoms. And every one of those atoms is doing this. It's emerging from that field and collapsing into that field every nanosecond of the day, like right this nanosecond. And as it emerges from the field, it is building our bodies to fit the template that we hold in our consciousness.
That's crazy.
Of who we are. And this is why healing is possible. This is why spontaneous healing is possible. When we change the way we think and the way we feel, we change that blueprint, we change the template, and that information will now fill in a new and healthier blueprint. And this is all very well documented. I mean, the science knows the bits and pieces. Science is reluctant to bring them together because it tells a story that many scientists are reluctant to embrace.
What's that?
The story is that we are not what we've been told. We're more than we've been led to believe. And that is the essence of why I've written this book.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer that question for you right now. What I'm going to say is this, Louis, there's something inside of us, we humans, that is so powerful. It is so beautiful. It is so ancient. It is so precious that there are organizations in the world today, and there always have been, societies in the past, that will go to any length to shield us from that part of ourselves, because that's where we find our power.
Yeah.
When we are in our power, we are less vulnerable to fear. And fear, I think you'll agree, is probably the greatest commodity in a world that is moving toward authoritarian, the ability to create authority and centralize that authority. In the world, that is our divinity. This is why We are the prize. We are literally the prize. And I want to make this conversation relevant to our viewers, because so many people, they write to us and we see the comments and say, okay, these conversations are cool. What's that have to do with the world?
And what's that have to do with my life right now?
Yeah, that world out there. So here's what it has to do with the world that we're living in. That part of us that is so beautiful, powerful, ancient, precious, is the reason for everything we're seeing happening in the world. Those powers that be will stop at nothing to distract us and keep us diverted. Nations will go to war with nations. Economic systems will be collapsed. Pandemics will be unleashed. Climate will be engineered. Nations will rise and fall, all in an effort to distract us.
Wow.
Because we are the prize. The human body is the prize because our humanness is the link to our divinity. This is why I began talking about an ancient battle. There's an ancient battle between good and evil. And evil means different things to different people. But the ultimate evil is to shield a human from their divinity. When we are kept from our divine nature, our ability to love fearlessly, to forgive, to heal, to imagine, to innovate, to create, that is a form of evil. And that's a form that is playing out right now. And this 2030 window of time is the window of time when it is proposed that our humanness, our biology, be replaced.
Wow.
With technology, with AI, with computer chips, chemicals in the blood that mimic the systems that we do, with synthetics, computer chips in the brain, linking us to the computers now. And it's a very different way of thinking. Now, I'm a systems thinker, so I look at the big picture so that I understand where the nanosecond of my life fits into that big picture. And then I let it go. We don't have to know any of this, but I want people to know that what we're seeing, and it's not a crazy world. It's insane. It's not crazy. There is a method. There's a system. There's a process. And it won't last forever. It's this little window of time where you're seeing the powers that be jockey for position. And our humanness is a problem.
Wow.
Because we are such powerful beings, and nobody's telling our kids that. Our kids are being told that they're flawed forms of life, that they need something outside of themselves to be the best version of themselves and to compete in business and compete in the world. So our kids are willing to give themselves away to virtual reality, to computer chips.
A lot to take in, but I wanted us to hear that. That's Greg Braden, by the way. I wanted us to hear that because what he's speaking of is utilizing the ancient, powerful understanding of our energy, our pineal gland, and understanding that the energy that we're emitting is always emerging and collapsing both in the physical world as well as our own bodies, to understand that we each individually have a blueprint as a human and a blueprint as a conscious, conscientious being, while at the same time not get distracted by another conspiracy that he's talking about. But it is, we all know that it's the reality of living in a technological alternate universe relative to AI and other forms of technology that we live in, for lack of a better term, is that it's up to us to be conscious and conscientious of what we're putting out into the universe, while understanding, one of the things that I loved when I came into this teaching in the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s, when it was, be careful of your words because consciousness is always listening. Well, it's important to understand today that yes, consciousness is listening, but so often so is what we from the 20th century call Big Brother. If you live in a world with Siri or Alexa or fill in the blanks, they're always listening. And you might think that that's nuts, and it is on some level, but I just want to share with you, as I was listening to all of this this morning, reconfirming the order for that. And things like this happen in my world all the time. And sometimes I'm tuned into it, sometimes I'm not, as it does in your world. As I spoke a moment ago about the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, I got a text literally as I stopped that video on my computer in my office right this morning. I got a text that says this from a number I don't know, which is clearly some AI generated number, but it says, I can't read it in that direction, but it says, how is your mind today? Peaceful or a little busy? What that means to me is, yes, it's all listening and it's all interconnected. And we can let that scare us or freak us out as he's talking about living from fear, or we can use it to our advantage. We can allow it to be a tool for us to remember that who we as individualized expressions of the only thing that there is, mental beings, use it in a way to cultivate and play with and intentionally be conscious evolutionists or be victims. That hasn't really changed over life. It's just feels as if it's playing out differently because of the intellect of technology around us. That's quite surprising. So remembering who we were, I want to look at what's the journey that we've been on as individuals and journeys as beings of light that are humans living in a divine world. As we've wrapped this up with the last video, and know that my intent is to give us some historical context, if you will, of who and what we are as the vessels of life happening through us, while also understanding science and technology knows it all today. They've caught up with us in the context of providing that this energy, as he just spoke of and before, and we're going to hear now, is the energy's there, baby, and it's all energy. God. Travis, let's play that one, please.
Neuroscientist Dean Hamer proposed a controversial but compelling idea that our propensity for spiritual or mystical experience is linked to our genetics, specifically a gene called VMAT2. This gene is involved in regulating the flow of mood-altering brain chemicals. Hamer called it the God gene, suggesting it creates a biological predisposition for self-transcendence, a feeling of connectedness to a larger universe. While this was framed in a materialistic way, we can see it from a higher perspective. Our divine blueprint includes a built-in biological interface, a specific genetic switch designed to facilitate our connection with Source. This isn't a gene that creates God. It's a divinely engineered receiver that allows us to perceive the divine reality that is always present. Spiritual practice, then, is the art of consciously learning how to operate this innate biological technology.
You are a receiver. He's telling us that it's been proven. It's been proven that you have what's called a God gene within you that gives you the opportunity as a self to transcend the physical world, that it is magnified within you and animated your divine blueprint, that you have built within you within your biology, the ability to have an interface to genetically switch back to source, back to source, back to source, so that no matter where you are in your life and how you're traveling through life with a semi-permeable bubble, your God gene is there waiting for you. In the Bible, it says, bring back to me the remembrance of who I am. That really is what this has been all about today, while providing a foundational and a subtext of understanding it through a different lens, a different perspective, obviously one that's very brainiac oriented, while at the same time understanding your spiritual DNA and your ancestral history. So I want us to finish this by listening to and watching the video that we saw the first time again, and then realize how you've been on a journey since then. Your perception has changed. You're seeing things anew. And how can you use these tools in life from today forward? Travis, thank you.
Every conscious being exists within a personal reality bubble or perceptual field, defined and sustained by their unique frequency signature, beliefs, emotions, karma. This bubble acts as a semi-permeable membrane, only allowing experiences and information that are a vibrational match to enter your awareness. You cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of. This explains why two people can have vastly different experiences of the same event. The work of ascension is the conscious purification and upgrading of this personal frequency, which in turn transforms your reality bubble, allowing you to perceive and inhabit a higher dimensional world without ever physically going anywhere.
And so it is. All right, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed that. I could play in that film. Well, I do play in that realm day by day by day by day. Yaron's going to come on and take us through a song journey that's going to reinforce all of it.
That is actually correct. I intended to do one song, and because of your talk, I actually changed it to a song about a really, really cool journey and a really cool version of a song you might know. So hope you enjoy it. Feeling my way up through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. Tell me I'm too young to understand that I only ever do hands, but when my life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes, well, that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know that I was lost. Wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know that I was lost. Try to carry the weight of this world, but I only have two hands. I hope I get a chance to travel this world, but I don't have any plans. Wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game for everyone, and love's a prize. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know when I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know that I was lost.
So fabulous. Thank you for the spontaneity. Wake
you.
me up.
Yeah.
And then we'll add to that, wake me up before you go, right? Little
That's
George
it.
Michael.
Wake me up before you go, girl.
It's not plan on going solo. Well, Jorn, I'm so glad to play in this realm with you today, and I'm so glad you're healing and healthy.
Thank you.
And that shall continue, shall continue, shall continue. So
Thank you.
thank you for being here. I know you're going to take us out with the Let There Be Peace song in a moment. I'll see you in just a bit. And thank you to each one of you for being here today. You'll be able to access this video because tomorrow is World AIDS Day, so as it is the 1st of December. So I invite you to take a moment and acknowledge and love and remember all of those that have transpired from AIDS or living with HIV and AIDS today. There's a brand new AIDS monument that's opened in West Hollywood at the West Hollywood Park. And if you're in this area or could come to this area and take a walk through it, it's just magnificent. It's both physically beautiful, the story's beautiful, and it's really heartwarming and touching. And I've been through it several times now because it's where I walk my dog. But once again, just an invitation for you to acknowledge and honor that. Newsletter goes out tomorrow. We'll be online Wednesday morning for our midweek morning meditation, back in person online next Sunday morning. And we appreciate you to join us there. We'd love to have you support our ministry, CSL-LA.org. You can click on donate in the window there, as well as our app in the App Store. A huge thank you to Yaron for his music today, to Travis for working diligently and helping with those videos today, and just being a real professional in regards to that. A thank you to Robert Hensley, our administrative assistant and social media dude, and who gets us connected through YouTube. And a big thank you to each one of you for being a conscientious participant in CSL-LA, a contributor to Evolving Consciously, and for keeping the Center for Spiritual Living and the Science of Mind alive in a modern way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Each morning, our New Thought text for the day goes out, and it's just a way to tune in to having a new thought. And so if you're receiving those great. And I invite you to pass them on. And if not, I invite you to sign up for those. The one that went out this morning created a good deal of conversation on it. And it's this: what we don't need in the midst of struggle is shame for being human, by Brene Brown. And several people were like, what does that mean? And I love that it creates conversation. And so let's all keep the conversation going. Let's remember to use our power and use it for good, and to tune in starting right here and right now to experiencing and experimenting with your divine energy in a new way. Thank you for being here. Yaron's going to come on and take us out with the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. You can insert the word joy, beauty, light, life, love, wisdom, or gratitude with that as well. And we know it begins with each one of us. And after that, we're saying goodbye to those of you on YouTube. And if you're on Zoom, we'll stay in for a moment and say hello with each other if you'd like to do that. Yaron, it's all you, baby.
Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. God is creator, not at all are we. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my soul and vow to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth.